Welcome to Knoxville Raceway Inside Line with your host Eric Arnold, presented by Lucas Oil, FVP, Casey's General Store, Speed Sport, Arnold Motor Supply, RacingJunk.com, and Pella Motors.
Welcome to the show, race fans. This is Knoxville Raceway Inside Line. Thank you for joining us tonight. My name is Eric Arnold, Knoxville Raceway track historian, coming to you here from the KBOE studios, 104.9 in Oskaloosa, and at kboeradio.com. Coming up a little later in the show, our guest tonight is going to be Terry McCarl, 7-time Knoxville track champion. He finished second place this past week at the Knoxville Raceway with the World of Outlaws show. So Terry had a good run there, and he's been doing pretty well all season, leading the points at Knoxville. So Terry McCarl coming up here in a little bit later. So as I said, this past week at the Knoxville Raceway, we had the World of Outlaws STP Sprint Cars, their one and only stop of the season this year. It's the Salute to the King season, as this is Steve Kinser's farewell season, and Steve kind of alluded as they interviewed him at the intermission that this could be his very well could be his last season racing sprint cars. He's been talked about this will be his first year as on the full tour traveling with the Outlaws, but there's been talk about him running a part-time schedule, but he's not sure if he's going to do that or not. So the Knoxville Nationals coming up here in August could be your last chance to see the King be racing at the Knoxville Raceway. The World of Outlaws show, we had a great crowd this past Saturday night. Sounds like it was the best crowd we have had for a World of Outlaws event at the Knoxville Raceway in 8 years. So a tremendous crowd turnout. We also had the AMA Grand National Motorcycles, the flat track motorcycles this past weekend on a Sunday afternoon. We had a really nice crowd there on Father's Day. I didn't witness the races myself, but from all the pictures I saw, it looked pretty good. There's also some YouTube videos out there, so to see those guys going as fast as they were was impressive, to say the least. So kind of going over a race recap from this past week with the World of Outlaws. Time trials, Shane Stewart set quick time. Shane driving the new Kyle Larson, Justin Marks Motorsports sprint car. Shane's always had strong runs at Knoxville over the years. Probably one of the most consistent drivers at the Nationals, other than Donnie Schatz the past 5-10 years. Second in qualifying was Kerry Madsen. Then local driver Cole Wood. He's actually from California, but he's based out of a shop in Missouri right now. Ian Madsen was fourth. Danny Lasowski fifth. In time trials, our Knoxville regulars did pretty well. They took 7 of the top 15 spots in qualifying, so good showing for the regulars. 3 of the 4 heat race winners were also Knoxville regulars. The heat race winners were Linton Jeffrey, Paul McMahon, Clint Garner, and Terry McCarl. And in the AMA, the regulars did pretty well again. They took 5 of the top 10 spots, 11 of the top 20, so a really good showing for our local drivers. As you can tell, Terry McCarl was second, like I said. Brad Sweet picked up the win. They reworked the racetrack a little bit before the features to kind of help put on a little better show as the track widened out pretty wide there. It was low humidity, really windy all day Saturday, and the track just wasn't going to be able to hold up the distance of that race. But Brad Sweet winning the dash and then starting on the front row and was able to lead every lap of the feature. Terry McCarl was second. He had a really good race with Shane Stewart there early on. Made a really good pass, a slide job on Shane going through turns 1 and 2. Took the position. Terry kind of found the rubber a little bit sooner than Shane, but it was a really good battle there. So Shane was third. Darren Pittman drove from 16th up to 4th. Kerry Madsen finished 5th. Danny Lasowski was 6th. Paul McMahon 7th. Ian Madsen 8th. Brian Brown 9th after starting 23rd. And Craig Delansky was 10th after starting 18th. Donnie Schatz started 21st. Didn't qualify very well. He raced his way up to 11th. So all in all, a pretty good show there for the World of Outlaws this year at the Knoxville Raceway. We'll look forward to seeing those guys back in August 6th through the 9th for the FVP Knoxville Nationals. The 360 class was also competing on this night. Justin Henderson set quick time for the 5th time this season in the 360 division. Heat race winners were Matt Morrow, Jared Schneiderman, and Tony Schilling. The feature for this race Probably the best feature we've seen all season for the 360 class. Dylan Peterson, rookie this year, took off with the lead, leading the first couple of laps. John Egan kind of tracked him down and then led up till halfway, and at halfway, Justin Henderson, who started 8th, worked his way up to the front and picked up his first 360 feature win of the season. Henderson, and driving the number 1 Brian Sunby team car, they're leading the owner's points. John Egan is leading the driver's points. Joe Beaver was 3rd in the feature. Russ Hall 4th. Jonathan Cornell 5th. Dylan Peterson finished 6th. The 305 division was off on this night, so looking at the 360 class point standings so far, like I said, Egan is 1st, Joe Beaver 2nd, Russ Hall 3rd, Jamie Ball 4th, Nate Van Haften 5th, and rookie Dylan Peterson is running 6th in the point standings currently. The 410 point standings, it's not a full points night with the World of Outlaws. What they do is they give everybody a minimum of 150 points to start the night, but any points that they would have earned more than that, they get to keep. So the drivers that qualify for the AMA are going to earn a few more points than that, and they kind of gain a little bit more on the leaders there. Terry McCarl was able to hang on to the point lead, has a comfortable 139 point lead now over Ian Madsen. Davey Heskin 3rd, Justin Henderson 4th, Craig Delansky is in 5th. So there is your race recap for this past weekend. If you haven't heard about it, Knoxville Raceway has their own TV show now. It airs on MAV TV on Thursdays at 11 a.m. and again at 2 p.m. on Central Time. That's Knoxville Raceway Dirt Dreams on MAV TV. Be sure to check that out. Get your DVRs set. It's a real nice quality show that Brandon Bingham has put together for the racetrack. This week was the 3rd episode. It was aired earlier today, so if you have your DVR ready, make sure you got that set up for next week. The race show shows highlights. It also has a lot of driver interviews. You get to learn a little bit about the casting characters that race at the Knoxville Raceway and some of the other people that help make Knoxville Raceway what it is. So we'll go into our first break. When we come back, we will have driver Terry McCarl. Welcome back to Knoxville Raceway Inside Line. Here on the line now, we've got driver Terry McCarl. Terry, 2nd place this week with the World of Outlaws at Knoxville. Good show for you guys.
Yeah, it was a great show for us. Things really worked out, and it was obviously the best platform in the world to show what we're capable of doing. And we almost got to pick one off there. So I'm pretty proud of our team and how we did. And man, we really wanted to win one, especially for the local Knoxville fans. But I think the local guys fared pretty well, and to come out 2nd was a big thing for us, I think, and for the local fans.
Yeah, the locals had a really good showing. 7 of the top 15 in time trials, and I think 5 in the top 10 there. So, talk a little bit about the competition level this season at the Knoxville Raceway. It's just been unbelievable.
Well, that's what we've been saying is before the season started on paper, it looked like the toughest 410 local racing in the country, and I think it's definitely proven to be that. Pennsylvania's been known to have the toughest local 410 shows over the years, and California definitely has some really tough guys out there, some great teams. So, to be honest with you, the biggest problem Knoxville has is just there's not a lot of people in our area, as far as population like there is, on the East Coast and on the West Coast. So with less population, there's less businesses and less money to sponsor race cars and sponsor sprint cars. So I think that's been the biggest downfall. It definitely hasn't been talent in this area. There's a lot of talent. It's just tough to get the money needed to have the equipment to run against the Outlaws when they come into town. But like you said, this year I think it's like a mini outlaw show every Saturday night at Knoxville. The fans are being treated as some awesome racing. Again, on paper it looked like it was going to be that way, and it's come to fruition every Saturday night. It's an amazing show every Saturday, and I've been going there since the late '60s when I was a little boy, and when it was wooden grandstands, and thinking about Jerry Blundy and Joe Saldana, Ray Goodwin, all those big names back in the day, seems like it must have been an incredible show every week, and I'm sure it was. But there's some amazing talent there every Saturday night. So it's made us, really want to step up our game. Not that we don't normally try to do our best, because this is what we do for a living, but, with all the talent coming in, like Craig Delansky and all the top guys that are here, it's definitely one championship that we really want to win more than ever.
Yeah,
a lot of the years when you've won the track championship, 7-time track champion Terry McCarl on the phone with us, by the way, for race fans. It seems like you've kind of hung around the top, and then all of a sudden, halfway through the season, then you're there you are and you're winning. And this year, you got a nice cushion so far going into next week, like 179 points it looks like. So, what's the combination that you guys have hit on this year? It seems like to be a little bit further ahead of the game than you have in the last couple of years.
Well, we won 2 years ago, and I've just been trying to recover from 2010. I tore my bicep tendon out, which was a pretty serious injury. It's not like breaking a bone. I shattered my hand and come back. I had surgery on Thursday, in 1995, and had surgery on my hand on Thursday. Come and set fifth quick at the Outlaw Show on Saturday, and ran fifth the next week. So I've been able to recover from broken bones and things like that before, but that tendon deal was a real serious thing that I couldn't mess with and couldn't really overcome, and just go out there and tough it out because I could pull it out again real easy. So 2010 we had that, and then I came back strong and won 5 out of 9 I think, and then broke my leg in two. So that was a tough deal for me that I lost my ride in the big game car, and then all your sponsors think that you're probably washed up or not believing in you like maybe they should or could, but so it's taken a while to get my team built back up. I really didn't have anything team wise, and fortunately I have a couple of great sons and a wife who backed me, and my son Austin has been my crew chief, and he's been trying to race too, and that made it difficult. So 2 years ago, when he wasn't racing at Knoxville, we won the championship, and last year he was trying to race again, and it was just really me and him and Carson and Lori working on a thing, and we got some really good help at the track. But I'd say the key to our success this year is Ben, that the addition of Doug Rankin. He's been around Knoxville all his life. He lives there, but he's helped a lot of really good teams, Jason Sides and Ian Madsen last year, and really great guy. And he fits into our scheme really good. He's real quiet, and I probably talk too much. So for our team, I think that's the best thing we could have got. I was so excited when we had the opportunity to hire him, and he's really, like I said, just fit into our team, and him and Austin get along so well. And so now I have two really good mechanics with Doug and Austin, and Carson. We're trying to race him as much as we can with the Mastel brothers. So, when you're trying to race 2 or 3 cars out of a little shop and no sponsorship, it's difficult. But more than anything, it's to help. You got. I've been doing all the driving in a semi and racing 2 or 3 nights a week right up to Houston. It's 5 hours, so it's pretty tough on me and wearing me out. And with Doug around, it's gave me the chance to relax, watch the track like I haven't been able to the last few years, not have to do all the driving. So. I would say number 1 is Doug Rankin joining this thing, and number 2 is the snowplow.com joining in, Jeff and Stacy, and having a little bit more help as far as sponsorship-wise has kind of put us over the edge. Randy Anderson, my good friend, former racer, you all know, he owns the motor that's been in my car that we've been running so well with. So those guys just stepping up to the plate a little bit and getting us a little more sponsorship, a little more motor situation, a little deeper on the motors, and is built my confidence and let me mess around with the motors to get them the way we like them a little better. And plus I've been running ART engines the last year, so I got a really good handle on those things. And we just got a good package now. We were fast last year. We went into the last night third, and going into the feature we were second in points, and I still think we had a shot at winning it. And when I pushed off for the feature, we broke a rocker arm, so I ran that whole feature on 7 cylinders and still going to finish second in points, and then we had a fuel cap fall off on that last red flag with 2 laps to go, cost us second in points. So, we were right there. Last year we just had a bunch of crazy stuff happen, and like I said last year, a lot of those championships I won, probably my competitors had some crazy things happening, which kept them from winning a championship. So that's how you can lose them, and maybe how you win them. And last year we just had a lot of crazy things that weren't Austin's fault or our equipment's fault. We just had a stop fall off, which happened to 2 or 3 different guys, and had a rear end brake, some things like that normally never happened, and some crazy stuff. So hopefully right now, we don't have that big of a lead. We certainly aren't out of the woods by any means. It's only mid-season championship, and there's a lot of strong teams. Ian is definitely a strong team, and Craig's right back there. I think 3rd through 8th are only about 30 points behind each other. So it's still pretty wide open right now, but running well with the Outlaws really showed how good our team is and how tough the competition is at Saturday nights at Knoxville, and we just need to keep it up. We need to keep going strong and finishing races. But man, it's tough starting back in that 4th row every week. It's tough to get the feature wins like you want.
Yeah, that 8 invert. It's better than the 10 and the 12, but since they've switched to the 8 invert the last couple of years, but now you're timing better as well. I think you've had 2 quick times, and you're timing in the top 3 every week, so that's making it harder on you.
Yeah, so that's good and bad. You want to be fast time, but when it comes to feature time, it's that's definitely going to make your job a lot more difficult. And then, every 3 weeks we've been redrawing, and I drew back in the 4th row again last time we redrew. So, but again, every night we're fast. I was so proud of last week because it kind of showed. I keep telling everybody, some of my sponsors that can't make it to their races every week, that our finishes aren't really showing how fast we are. We're right there and passing some guys and moving. Everybody there is so strong. But when the Outlaws came to town, we were definitely the best local. And if it hadn't laid rubber, I think we had a really good shot at Brad there. But he did a great job getting through traffic better than I did. I had one in particular lap car that wanted to race me pretty hard, lap down. But that's part of the deal. We weren't able to get by him, and I kind of just had to settle down and quit trying to race that lap car and just hope for a yellow flag and save my tire. Maybe we'd have another shot at Brad that way. But as it was, that didn't happen, and he did a good job. But it's so good to see such a great crowd, and I think I got to thank the Duncans for going out and redoing the racetrack. I know that wind was amazing, and it's pretty tough on a dirt track, a lot of wind like that. So they did a great job on the track, and it was a fun track up until maybe the last 8 laps. So other than that, it was pretty good.
Yep. You've had some success earlier this season with the Outlaws. You ran a dozen or so shows. You've had, I think, 3 top 5s. Does that sound right?
Yep.
So,
we went out west. I went to Florida and out west. That whole trip was 1 car and 1 engine, and I think Saturday night was our 7th top 10 and 11 races, not counting Lakeside, where we junked the car in hot laps, something broke in the steering, and drove straight in the concrete wall. So 7 top 10s and 11 nights. That's pretty doggone good. And like I said, when I went out there, it was me and my buddy DJ Brink, who's another race car driver, was helping me. We hadn't hired Doug at that point yet, so. It was just me and DJ and 1 car and 1 motor trying to go up against the best in the business, and we did a great job of it. So, I'm just happy. I'm comfortable. My cars are running good, or my cars are feeling good, and my motors are running great, and that's half the battle, especially with the Outlaws. Having a good motor. So Tommy Ryder does a good job for us, and we kind of changed our motor program around a little bit this year to get him a little more the way I like him. I'm real happy with him. So, every time I've been going out, the car's been pretty comfortable, and the motor's been running good.
Yep. Well, you got a pretty big event coming up here in Oskaloosa in about 6 weeks. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, unfortunate this year we're not going to have the ultimate challenge for the non-wing guys. Man, I love the non-wing cars. I love watching that race. We've had some amazing. I think the year Jesse Hockett won was probably from top to bottom the best of sprint car event I've ever seen in my life, and I've seen quite a few of them. Every single race was amazing. But USAC, unfortunately, their car counts are having little problems when it comes to the half miles. Last year they left us and went to Terre Haute, Indiana, where they all live, and they only had 17 cars a week after our event last year. So because of the car count, USAC asked to maybe back out this year. Maybe we can come back another time. And so right now we're just going to focus on the Front Row Challenge, the ASCS National Series. Last year we had, I think, nearly 50 cars and incredible race. And unfortunately, Tony Stewart got hurt at it because he just taken the lead and had the thing won. And that was going to be pretty exciting for everybody and for us and for the fans. But yeah, it's you never know who you're going to see or what you're going to see, and we got a lot of fun events. The awesome belt is back this year for the winter, and we got a lot of fun things, for the fans and the drivers, giveaways and things to throw to the fans. So it's going to be a fun event like it always is. But now we have a rain date for it. Hopefully we don't need that, but we've always had a little bit of a scare of rain at the Front Row Challenge. So it's Monday, August 4th, and we got a rain date for Monday, August 5th. And like I said, it's a great event, I think, for the fans. It's kind of one of those not missed shows and part of the Southern Iowa Sprint Week. And like I said, last year I think Kyle Larson came from 18th to 2nd, and Kevin Swindell dropped back early in the race, come back up and run 3rd, and Tony Bruce took the challenge and ran 5th from the back. So there was a lot of passing and a lot of great racing, and I look for more of the same this year.
How do people get tickets for that?
You can call our office or go to oskichallenges.com and get the information, but you can call our office at 515-957-0020. And got to thank Casey's General Stores and, of course, Musco Lighting, the greatest lighting company in the world up there in Oskaloosa, and Don Long Cerebral Telephone Company for helping us and supporting us on this thing. And Casey's General Stores, of course, been with us for quite a while. And probably a month before the race, you'll be able to get your infield party passes at a discounted rate at all the local Casey's there in Oskaloosa, Knoxville, Pella, around that area. So watch for your local Casey's there to have the infield party passes at a discounted rate here coming up.
All right. We'll have to have you on a little bit closer to that event coming up on August 4th, you said, right?
That's right.
All right. Well, Terry, you're having a great season so far. Keep it up, and thanks for joining us tonight on the show.
Well, thanks for having me.
All right. That's Terry McCarl. We'll be right back with our last break here in the Knoxville Raceway Inside Line.
Welcome back to the Knoxville Raceway Inside Line. Coming up this next week, this Saturday night at the Knoxville Raceway, week number 10 of the Lucas Oil Knoxville Championship Cup Series. It's Farm Bureau mid-season championship night. Farm Bureau employees are half price. If you want to show your company ID there, you can get it for half price. Save your Casey's General Stores receipts, $50 or more, purchased within the this past week of the races. 2 tickets for $20. Senior discount is 60 and up. Get a $3 discount. Pellet Corporation and Nationwide Insurance employees also receive a $5 discount with showing your company ID there. Coming up for the fair, the Marion County Fair, coming up in July. Hairball and concert on Friday, July 11th. On July 14th, it's a Monday night, I believe, the Outlaw Dirt Carts. July 17th is the IMCA Harris Clash for Modifieds. Always one of the biggest modified, most prestigious modified races of the season. Coming up July 31st through August 2nd, the Arnold Motor Supply 360 Nationals. There will be a new champion this year with that. Shane Stewart announcing he's a 5-time champion, but he announced this week he will not be coming there this year for the 360 Nationals. He's going to be racing the World of Outlaw event in Peevely, Missouri, instead of racing at Knoxville, but I don't think he'll have any problem being prepared to race for the 410 Nationals the week after that. So then after the 360 Nationals on Sunday night, August 3rd, you have the 3rd Annual Capitani Classic. Last year we had over 80 cars entered for that event. Then August 6th through the 9th, the 54th Annual FVP Knoxville Nationals, presented by Casey's General Stores. And September, don't forget about Monster Jam and the Late Model Nationals. Don't forget about the Dirt Dreams TV show on MAV TV on Thursdays at 11 a.m. and on replays again at 2 p.m. The Checker Flag program, be sure to listen to that on Thursday nights here on KBOE. Runs from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. with your host Jeff Kropp and Tony Paris. This past week's show was a good one with Bobby Greiner Jr., catching up with him. Really enjoyed that show this past week. Also, this coming Saturday night is the Knoxville Raceway Track Hall of Fame inductions. Friday night is Nostalgia Night, so the vintage sprint cars, they usually get about 80 cars for that. It's $5 admission to watch. I think they race from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock. It's just exhibition races. And it's $5 also to get in the pits. Anyone 19 and under is free on Friday night for that event. Then on Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock, the Knoxville Raceway Hall of Fame Banquet will be held in the Show Pavilion just off of Turn 4 there. This year's inductees are Craig Egan, Randy Breisel, Tony Morrow, Grant Rankin, and driver Jeff Tuttle. Then they'll also make a presentation at intermission that night. But with that, if you want to attend the banquet at 3 o'clock on Saturday, it's $15. You can buy tickets at the ticket office, and that'll get you in there. There's a lunch with some pork loin and a couple of sides and some drinks there. So if you can make that, it'd be a good way to spend your Saturday afternoon. Thank you for joining us tonight here on Inside Line. We'll see you Saturday night at the racetrack.